Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off by the Game Day.
TGD.
Happy recap day.
Happy Monday.
Very exciting.
Happy
Mondays.
Mondays.
Oh,
Thanksgiving
Monday.
coming up. Thank God. Thank God, right? Aren't we so thankful that Thanksgiving is coming up?
I'm
Hey
excited
man,
for that.
we get to watch another year of Cowboys football on Thanksgiving. You gotta
Nothing
be
better.
thankful.
You also get to watch America's team, the Detroit Lions,
The
every
Detroit,
year,
yeah.
which is always
Yeah.
nice.
And Seattle's
you know?
team, the Seahawks.
Very
Facts.
Good
12th
point.
man. The 12th man.
12
Yeah,
men.
dude.
Yeah, no, hey, Thanksgiving week, man. Let's go.
Thanksgiving
Crazy
week.
12 now?
Week
Is that what we're heading
12.
into?
Yes, sir.
That's
How are we
crazy.
already in 12?
Hey, congratulations to the team that have 7 or more wins.
Yeah.
That is us.
Another congratulations to the first time that all of our teams have won in the same week.
Holy shit.
Is that
doesn't
true? Is that the
happen
first
often. Wow.
I feel
Look
like
at
that meme.
How do you feel?
I feel like that meme. You know the meme? You know the meme?
No, there's a lot of
cat,
memes.
The cat.
No, the three guys with like the gun and then there's a clown behind them.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
you.
yeah,
That's
that's
you,
That's
yeah.
definitely you.
Matan, what was you sent me that earlier? Oh, they're calling Tommy DeVito the passing paisan. I fucking love that.
How you doing?
Hey, the passing paisan. He was only 4 yards away from hitting that.
What does
250.
paisan mean? What does it mean? Something?
Paisano? I don't know. It's fucking some Italian name.
Nice.
It's
I
a
like
little
it.
thing. I'm not that Italian. I don't know like the fucking language.
Parodi. Come on.
Parodi's
We gotta ask
Italian,
Stefano.
but I got a whole bunch.
We
of
gotta
other
ask
shit.
Stefano what that shit means.
Hey, the passing paisan.
But yeah, a lot of things happened in week 11. We're gonna recap a bunch of big games. We have no plan as to where this episode is
I
gonna
kind of
go.
like this.
So we're gonna just go around the horn, and I want everyone
Around the horn.
I want everyone
We
to
should
just
coin
pick a
that.
game
Fuck
that
ESPN.
we should dissect.
Hey,
Okay,
so
give a take on.
I'll
We
come up with a game. I'll say, Adam, what's your game? And he says a game, and then we just fucking go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down.
Nah, you know what we should start with?
What?
Cowboys, of course.
No. Let's talk about the Thursday night game.
Oh
That was a
yes.
huge game with lots of implications.
Yeah.
going
Bengals
forward.
Ravens.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about
What
it.
was the takeaways from Bengals Ravens? We talked about it a little bit in our pregame show on Sunday, but let's talk about it now in the actual episode.
Well, Adam thinks that this is the best thing that could ever happen to the Bengals.
No,
God,
hold
he-
on.
Now you don't
hold
have to
on,
speak
hold
Every
anymore.
on,
time a
hold
team's
on.
quarterback gets hurt.
Hold on. It's the best thing to happen to the Bengals if they were going to end up missing the playoffs. That's
Agreed.
why.
Say it again.
I think that Joe Burrow going down is the best thing to happen to the Bengals if they were going to miss the playoffs.
Already
can't predict
before
that.
they got.
Yeah, you can't predict that. I
Assuming-
agree. I'm
so
not
that-
rooting injuries upon Joe Burrow, but
So you're saying assuming the Bengals were going to miss the playoffs with Joe
correct.
Burrow.
If they would have lost
It would-
against the
yeah.
Ravens, I believe they would have had 0 wins in the division. And the division is a major tiebreaker in making it to the playoffs. And the Steelers had a better record. The Ravens had a
Yeah.
better record. The Browns had a better record. There was a good probability, a solid one, you
That
would
they
say,
would miss, even
that
with
they
Joe
would miss
Burrow.
the playoffs. So
T. Higgins.
Joe Burrow, obviously, is a guy that is now going to miss the remainder of the season. The Bengals are one of very few teams that are going to be picking within that top 12 potentially, if they don't win some games, that have a team that can win a Super Bowl the following year. And I believe that they can go out and replace T. Higgins, who might leave, or that offensive line who has cost them some really
I'd say
serious
if you don't
games
want
in
a
Joe
wide
Burrow
receiver,
health.
you can go get an offensive lineman real quick and
Like,
rock with Tyler Boyd. as your
Let's
wide
clarify.
receiver, too.
Don't wish injuries upon anyone.
Facts.
I do believe, though, that if you are a Bengals
I
fan
do declare.
and you were in this 500 range and were possibly missing the playoffs, you'd be like, all right, let's punt on the year. Let's go get a top 12 pick. Let's go get a fucking elite weapon potentially, or an offensive line, or replace Joe Mixon. Do whatever you want to do. But you can get a
I
fucking
think,
elite
I think
talent.
Bengals fans, as long as Joe Burrow's healthy, they want to run it with him and see if they can get the playoffs. But
Well, yeah, I think anyone
Yeah.
would want to
Yeah,
be in the
so
playoffs.
now that he's hurt, it's
Now that
like,
he's hurt,
now
it's
you
very
can
you have
no
as
choice.
much as it
Yeah.
sucks to like
It
punt on the
sucks.
season, especially with a team so talented,
Yeah.
which we've been saying is one of the most talented teams in the league, defensively, offensively, the talent that they have. It sucks to be able to do that, but if you are going to miss the playoffs, you might as well, as with any team, you might as well be in the higher end of the draft. So
Right.
then you can go add a top tier guy to a team that's already loaded, right?
Yeah.
And so Cincy, I think now they're going to, it's not the end of the world. Even though it sucks, you have to swallow it. And
It
you have to
sucks.
swallow the fact that, like, they're some of the most aggressive fans. I feel like that division is just so fucking aggressive
Yeah.
all the time. You see them just chirping each other on Twitter and stuff
oh
like
my
that.
God, I've never seen any division go at each other.
It's
Well,
fucking insane.
Nuts.
I
Right?
think
Because they all hate each other. It's not like there's like one rivalry in the division, right?
They
It's
just
all
took a fat L. They just took a fat L.
The
now.
flip side of it also is
Yeah.
that I think you should be able to look at if your best players are injured, don't make them play. And not that I'm saying, obviously there's probably things that happen and Joe Burrow wanted to play, but before the season, Jamar said to Joe, like that had come out in the media, that he wanted him to sit out a couple games, right? And it's clear that Joe Burrow playing hurt with that calf injury is the reason that they got into the hole. He wasn't himself.
They weren't winning games with Jake Browning anyway.
I'm not saying that. There's a higher probability that, and obviously these injuries have nothing to do with one another. But there's a chance that they could have been a 2-2, or there's a chance that he could have missed 3 games and potentially 2-1. Like, I don't know what would have happened. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Joe Burrow playing through those first 5 games hurt is why the Bengals were in the hole that they were. But it feels like that's a major reason as to why they were as bad as they were on offense. So I just think you learn from your mistakes. I think the Dolphins, not to bring it to the Dolphins, but that's what Mike McDaniel finally did this year with injuries and have allowed people to get healthy. Obviously, didn't work out with H-N. But I think the Bengals are fine. They're going to be fine. But yes, the Bengals are in a position to go get an elite talent wherever you want to put them, and you'll be right back to Super Bowl contending next year.
I mean, yeah, they're going to be fine in the long term. But, however, I will bring this.
Bring the narrative.
LFA.
Do it.
I will
Bring
bring
it
this into the
LFA.
picture.
Do it.
Now I'm going to get to LFA. I'm going to get to the Ravens.
Do it.
Real
I know
quick,
what you're
I got
gonna
a fun
do.
fact for Lamar. It's actually a real good
Super
stat.
fun. Do it.
But one person who gets a big pass here is Joe Burrow. Let's keep it. Let's call a spade a spade.
Spade's paid.
Last year, Dak Prescott had a down year. He had a down year. We all talked about his interceptions. The Cowboys still made it to the divisional round. This year, Joe Burrow has the 18th best QBR. He's 5-5. He's had way more bad games than he had good games. Oh, but his injuries. Dak Prescott played with a broken hand all year last year.
Facts.
He's not going to get the same treatment as Dak Prescott, and nor should he. He's not in Dallas. He doesn't have the lights. But
He also didn't make it to a Super Bowl.
right, but
I'm just saying. I'm just context.
oh, guess what though?
What?
Joe Burrow didn't have a top 10 QBR the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Woo!
Okay, the team was loaded. Joe Burrow.
Just adding color to
I've
it.
never taken the Super Bowl appearance away from Joe Burrow. I'm just saying this year. Let's look at this year. This is going to be a damper on his career until he can fix for that.
Yep.
Right, because all the quarterbacks have opportunity to fix it too, as Dak Prescott does this year, and he's doing a good job so far. But we have to look at this year for Joe Burrow and look at it for what it is, just like we've done with other quarterbacks. The second part of this is
it
that
about
Lamar
being prone
Jackson
to injuries? No.
The second part of this, I got a lot of shit. I don't know why I'm so high up on my
Let's
photos.
go, bro.
Lamar Jackson, 53rd win of his career, is the most all time before the age of 27. We have to give him his flowers.
Ooh.
We have to give him his flowers. Nobody
That's insane. I had no clue.
under 27.
Give him his flowers.
Lamar Jackson, this flower is for you.
Say flowers.
Most wins under the age of 27 or whatever the fuck I just said.
Mazel tov.
And
Toast.
so
That's
53
insane.
wins is huge. So
That's
the
massive.
He
Ravens,
came,
man.
he came in the league hella young too, right?
Yeah, he did.
I was
He
gonna
did.
say, he's
People
way
hate on
younger.
Lamar. It's crazy.
So
He's great.
I think that's the main thing. I mean, the Ravens are going to win the division now. I mean, they still have some competition, but they should win it. They're probably 75% chance to win or some shit like that.
I want to pose a question to you, Jack, as the Joe Burrow defendant, the biggest Joe Burrow defendant on this
Sure.
podcast. Most people are going to point to Joe Burrow being injured as to why he had a down year. And that will be the context as to the Dak argument, right? Well,
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was injured. As a Joe Burrow supporter and enthusiast, what do you have to say about that?
What to say about
The injuries,
being
is that
hurt?
a fair excuse? Is that a fair excuse to
Before-
absolutely?
not
It's the
playing
best
well.
excuse in the book.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull that one out 10 times out of 10 when I have to defend him. Yeah, he was hurt his calf, dude. You try walking around with a bum calf. I have fun with that. Like, I don't know. That's what I'm gonna use.
It's
That's
going to
what I'll
work.
use.
It works for some guys. It doesn't work for others. We had Trey Wingo come on the podcast, and he was the one guy defending Dak. He was like, dude, he played with a fucking broken hand all last year. He's never had an interception problem. He had it last year. Why do you think, right? And so the injury excuse, like, it's valid. It's going to work for some guys. It's not going to work for others. All I'm saying is the double standard,
Yeah.
guys. The double standard.
Well, no, it's fair. Like what you brought up for the pregame show thing. It's like we do it to start talking about like Joe Burrow's super injury prone.
Yeah.
The last
He
couple of
is.
years, he started the year like very hurt, very visibly hurt. That's why the Bengals have struggled out of the gate. He gets hurt again this year. He got hurt his rookie year. He tore his
tore
ACL
his
then.
ACL.
He was out there. Like there's a lot of he's getting hurt every single year that he's possibly played in the NFL. Like
Yep.
if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm super worried about that. Like the last guy on your team you want to be injury prone is your fucking quarterback. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something we got to bring up with Joe Burrow. And
I don't think
I like that
injury.
stat
I
that
think it's
you brought up.
unfortunate. I don't think injury prone is like I don't think you can label someone as injury prone. It's
That totally can label someone. Injury prone. I'm not doing it to Joe Burrow yet, but you totally can. Sam Bradford was hella injury prone.
Oh, he was
And I
injury
think
prone
that's a
shit.
good comparison
Saquon
because Sam
Barkley.
Bradford was fucking great.
Talented.
I just think it's a
Talented.
violent sport, and naturally injuries come from it. I don't think one injury, like the only reason that some injuries could happen is, yes, you're overcompensating on one side, but I think there's also fluke injuries the same way a hand injury gets fucked up and a calf injury gets fucked up. Like there's no correlation between it. So I think it's just poor circumstances and it's very unfortunate. But to label as injury prone, I just don't think tells the full
There's guys
story.
that just
I agree with you.
Get hurt
no
more
matter what it is.
often.
Yeah,
Also-
Deshaun Jackson's
also-
hamstring has never wanted to stay healthy.
No, and also
He'll have that
fucking
70-yard touchdown run and go to the locker room.
Joe
Yeah.
Burrow's injury wasn't like because the sport is like the injury on his
It's
hand
not a-
was not because the sport is violent. He threw the ball. No one touched him. Like,
But
that was-
allegedly it happened the week before, and then
No, it probably had nothing to do with it.
it had nothing to do with
Nothing
that
to do.
one.
he
I
threw.
thought he
We
got
all
hit
saw
or
the injury,
something.
right? He
Yeah, but
threw the ball and his
allegedly
hand just
on-
popped.
But I thought before then
that
his
shit-
it was a hit. It was from a hit,
Yeah,
and
it
then he
was.
threw, and then it happened. So yes, it happened because it's a violent sport.
Okay,
The-
I don't
the-
know that.
the-
I didn't know that.
The game is violent, but I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
to your point, like every play is violent.
Yeah,
And some guys stay healthy
If
and
you
play.
see- bro, if
Other
you
guys
see-
get hurt all the time. It doesn't matter if it's unrelated. Some guys just have more of a tendency to get hurt.
As a quarterback too, I feel like there's ways that you can avoid that, like the style of football that you play or what. Like Tom Brady was one of the least athletic people in the fucking league we've ever seen, but that dude
Yeah.
never got sacked. He got sacked to the lowest
Eli
rate ever.
Manning.
He never got hurt. Tom Brady was never hurt.
Eli Manning
Eli.
got crumbled. The guy
Yeah.
got hit more than anyone else.
I
And
guess.
he was
So
just
there's
tough.
ways
Dude
that like
was
Andrew
made
Luck-
of fucking steel.
Andrew
Andrew
Luck was
Luck.
injury prone, but he got
Luck.
sacked a shit ton too.
he had the double whammy.
And Joe Burrow's, I think Joe Burrow's been sacked more than Andrew Luck in his early career.
Yeah, Joe Burrow is injury prone and gets sacked a shit ton. So like, at some point you
I
have
don't
to talk to him about the way he's.
If
It's not his fault he's getting
Maybe you
hurt,
should do
but-
jujitsu
Oh,
Maybe,
sure.
yeah.
Learn how to fall.
Guys-
or get
Tua.
a sleeve
Yeah.
and
Oh,
cornrows.
yes,
Joe Burrow got a
that's-
sleeve,
yeah.
bro.
Sleeve, cornrows, and jujitsu.
I think look, maybe
The
one more injury and we
trifecta.
can start throwing that out there. I'm not gonna throw it out there yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's injury prone yet. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because again,
But that shows you
because
that
again, I defended that was my defense on Tua, right? Like people were putting the injury prone on him, and I didn't think he was injury prone because concussions happen and that's part of the game. But I do understand that when naturally injuries happen, you can label it. I have no defense against it. I just think, me personally, I think it's really hard to say like this dude's more prone to injuries, given that it's just a violent sport and injuries are going to happen.
some guys are
Your
more prone,
bodies
like,
won't be-
naturally.
Yeah, your body might not hold up to the,
Concussions are
the
part of an injury
physicality of
that-
it. Yeah,
Concussions is how strong is your neck. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Yeah, you gotta
Strength,
have
and that's
strong
why
neck game.
we do jujitsu and we learn how to
Yeah,
fall
Of course,
properly.
of course.
All right, so that's Ravens Bengals.
I do have another game that I want to talk about.
What?
Bang.
No, I want to talk about the Jaguars game because
Trevor's back.
finally,
Oh yeah, we.
finally,
four
our boy
touchdowns, I think.
Calvin Ridley had the game we've been waiting.
Spit in my mouth.
Facts.
Well, you don't
Oh,
really want
God.
that one, right?
I get so
'Cause you
uncomfortable every
didn't
time you
start him in
swallow each other's
fantasy.
spit.
Yeah, no,
man.
Calvin Ridley fucked me in
Disgusting.
fantasy, but I'm happy to see that the offense looks good and Calvin Ridley looks good. I
It
feel
sounded like there was conversations being had that like, hey, you have to feed Calvin Ridley a little bit.
Oh,
He's upset.
How many
just-
targets did he have?
That's
Did he
what
have a
the
lot?
announcers are kinda
Nine.
saying.
and he's had targets all year. I just think like
Target share.
Mm.
Target share.
How about
Go-
the route participation?
he participated.
He
Yeah,
did.
straight.
He
Nah,
9
I-
targets, 7 receptions, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, like that's a Calvin Ridley I knew existed.
I-
You fucking like
Yeah, I'm
he's
still.
a talented wide receiver, bro.
Yeah, it was a great bounce back game. I feel like we all kind of thought that was going to happen after what happened against the 49ers the week before. But like, I still don't know who's going to win the AFC South between the Texans and the Jaguars.
That I think is a fair.
Because the Texans just keep fucking winning.
The Texans remind me a little bit of the Lions, a team that could beat you in some different ways.
Bunch of different ways.
Agreed.
But I don't know. The way that they play is a little different, I feel like, because I feel like the Texans can't really win a defensive battle. Like, they haven't really proved that yet. Like, they're a solid defense. But dude, CJ Stroud is just awesome.
he is
He's
awesome.
fucking awesome. First half, I
And-
think he had 250 something passing yards.
And Trevor Lawrence fucking balled yesterday, too, by the way.
Oh my
Like,
god,
he's been
Trevor Lawrence
playing
is
great
crazy.
as
Yeah.
well.
That's crazy. That's
His stat
absurd,
line, by
bro.
the way, he had 262 yards on 24 of 32 passing, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns,
Yeah, you got him twice.
yeah.
and a
Wait,
119.5 QB.
Here's a
rating.
question for you guys. Which quarterback would you rather have for the foreseeable future? Trevor Lawrence or CJ Stroud?
I'm gonna go Stroud because he's hot, but
Yeah.
but I think it's close.
I'm gonna
It's
take
close.
Trevor.
Yeah?
I'm gonna take Trevor.
I don't know.
I think
dude.
it's
don't know
close.
where I go.
I think it's close, but I want to see more from CJ.
I
feel like
totally
I'm
agree,
in.
but
CJ
you want to
seems
see
like
more
he's
from
got-
Trev too.
I agree.
CJ seems like he's got that mentality where he's just
We-
fucking different.
And we've been saying this
I
a lot.
agree.
Like,
It's
you know what I
that's
mean?
why I'm
You saw what he said in the
CJ's
pre-
doing more with less.
You saw what he
right?
said
Like,
in the post game?
He's
What is
doing
that?
Presser,
more
he
with
was
us.
talking because they asked him about the INTs, and he's like, Steph Curry keeps on shooting. I'm going to keep shooting. I'm going to keep throwing it. I'm like,
The INTs, brother, he's got 3 on the year.
no, he's got 5.
CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
5. He threw 3 yesterday.
Oh, he had,
3.
I forgot he had the
He threw 3 yesterday.
I'm not saying it's an issue. I just think
Yeah.
like I'm crediting what he said in the post-game press conference, talking about his
Yeah, I like
swag,
that. I
the
like that.
moxie, as you guys would say, the
Got moxie.
confidence. Like
I love his
I'm not mad if you want to take
attitude, bro.
CJ Stroud. I just, from what we saw from Trevor Lawrence coming out of high school, coming out of college, I'm gonna hold on to that, but that leash is getting a lot smaller because
Okay,
CJ
but
Stroud
relax,
looks
because
great.
he just balled the fuck out, and you're used to apologizing to guys after they have
You
some
want me to
bad performance,
apologize to
and you're like,
Trevor?
"Yo, he's ass," and then they go out and play very
So
well.
who's the issue?
And now you're still
apology to?
saying this leash with Trevor. Trevor just came out and played very well. Trevor.
No, I'm just saying the leash is getting smaller in that context of who would you rather take, CJ or Trevor? I'm saying
All right, but Trevor
CJ.
just balled out. Give him some flowers.
I just said I'm taking Trevor.
I know. But
Okay,
like,
sorry.
Talk about how good he is right now.
Give it to him.
Trevor.
Apologize.
Trevarian.
Wow.
Congratulations.
He's not accepting the apology now. I have to say Trevor.
Okay, fuck you.
I like Trevarion actually. It's a good
No,
name.
Trevor played amazing, but let's keep doing this. Let's keep
There we
building.
go.
Let's
You
build
better say
upon
let's
this
pump the
performance.
brakes.
You want
Yeah,
which
yeah.
side do you want me to be on for Trevor Lawrence, bro? Which side do you want me to be on? All right.
Nah, Trevor balled out. Yeah.
If Trevor balls out and does not give the ball to Calvin Ridley, I will slander him. If Trevor Lawrence gives the ball to Calvin Ridley, I will favor
It
him.
comes back to Calvin Ridley.
Of
It-
course.
Look at the first game of the season when Calvin Ridley balled out. Trevor looked really fucking good. We were putting him in those like, oh, maybe he's like Mahomes level type of shit.
Mm.
This last week when
That's
Calvin Ridley
true.
balls out, we're like, oh, he's back.
Both
That's
things
true.
can be true. You could want to take CJ Stroud one week. You could
Yeah,
want to take
facts.
Trevor Lawrence another week.
I
have
think
no
the fact that we're
idea.
having a
Who's going
conversation
to win a
is
Super
dope.
Bowl first?
That's an interesting
That is
question.
an interesting question.
CJ
That's-
Stroud or Trevor Lawrence? Who's winning a Super Bowl first?
The reason I would go out and say Houston slightly, outside of the
Well,
fact that you picked them
2025
to be
Super Bowl
2025 Super Bowl champs, like
Yeah.
years back, you bought stock early, is because Trevor Lawrence is about to get hit with a massive contract. And that contract,
The cap.
a quarterback on a rookie deal changes a lot of things. And
Yeah,
the
but he
fact,
has-
yeah, what were you saying?
Is this year and next year?
He should get in the offseason.
Trevor
Yeah?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is his third year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Third year gets it going into fourth, likely gets it because other quarterbacks are going to get
He
it.
will.
So I would suspect that he's going to get the contract. That's going to change some things, as we saw with the Bills and Josh Allen's contract. Obviously, the Chiefs have been able to figure it out, but it's hard, man. You want to win with your quarterback on a rookie deal. So I'll go out and say slightly the Texans, only because I think they're ahead of schedule. And the fact that you also have weapons, Nico Collins, Tank Dell there are playing well. Singletary looks like
Gotta
a
say.
dog, a guy that was written off. Offensive line has been better. Like, you have defensive pieces. You have Will Anderson. Like, the Texans are way ahead of schedule. So I think it's worth an argument of being like,
It is
who's going to
worth-
win a Super Bowl first?
It's worth an argument. I'm gonna go Jags because of Doug Peterson. Pedigree.
Yeah.
Pedigree. That's it.
But
But
D'Amico,
for some reason,
Well,
I feel
is
like
the-
D'Amico could end up being the better coach.
Is the
from what we're
question,
seeing
though,
right
who's
now.
going to win a Super Bowl first, the Texans or the Jags? Or is the question which
Yeah.
quarterback?
It's
The team.
either. I mean,
Which
we're
team?
assuming that they're going to be with that team for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. what do you-
I would assume so. I would assume they play
the Jags
rest of their
should.
careers
The
for
Jags
teams.
should. Let's clarify. The Jags
The
feel
Ja-
like
the
after
Jags
what they
have
did last
the
year,
weapons and defense
They
to
should.
do it
They're,
right
they're
now.
further
Should,
ahead.
yeah.
They're further ahead.
They just need to
They're
start
further.
clicking on offense more consistently. Then I'll be like, all right, yeah, they can win one this
well, if
year.
you're to pick one, what are you saying then?
I probably will roll with Trevor Lawrence just
too.
because I feel like they just seem closer as a team.
They
like,
are.
to
They're
that,
definitely
to that
closer,
level.
for sure.
They
There's
are
some,
closer.
yeah, but there's somebody said, like you said, about after this year, CJ Stroud, everyone's going to want to play with that dude with
Well, they're
D'Amico
2 years-
Ryan. So they can add a shit ton of pieces with CJ Stroud on a rookie deal.
They're 2 years ahead of
Like-
schedule. The Jags, or the Jags are 2 years ahead of the Texans right now
Yes,
because it's just.
but they're
I mean,
pretty,
kind of, yeah.
they're pretty level in wins.
Oh,
right
I see what
now,
you're saying
honestly.
because of his
I know
trajectory.
it's impressive though. It's impressive what both.
Well,
teams
no.
are
I was
doing.
saying because Trevor Lawrence is on his third year.
Oh, true.
So this is CJ Stroud's
yeah,
rookie
but
year.
Trevor's rookie year was such bullshit with Urban
I
Meyer.
agree with
Meyer,
you.
yeah.
Situational and circumstances, I'm with you. I just think the Texans are so far ahead of schedule,
Yeah.
and that changes everything,
Can we
right?
agree
Like,
D'Amico Ryan's coach of the year though?
absolutely.
Like
Has-
it's not.
has
I don't
to
think
be.
it's close,
Absolutely.
man.
Or Dan Campbell if the
Or
Lions are
Dan,
one
yeah.
seed.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
depends. It depends because
The
right
Lions are
now,
one seed. Yeah.
If
if
the
the,
lines are once, but I don't think they're going to be.
if the Texans win the division, D'Amico will win, no matter what. I think,
I think so.
no matter
Yeah.
what, and frankly, should deserve it.
would
Definitely.
deserve it.
I don't know who else would. Yeah, at that point.
But if the Lions happen to get a 1 seed or a 2 seed,
They could.
them winning the division, I don't think is enough for Dan Campbell. But you can go either way. They
No,
both
I think-
deserve Coach of the Year,
think
co-coaches
once-
of the year.
I think one seed for sure. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, bro, at this point, the Lions are 8-2.
Yeah. but the Lions won 9 games last year. The Texans were garbage.
Yeah, no, I
Those
think
were really
D'Amico
bad,
D'Amico
yeah.
deserves it
It's
more.
so impressive.
I do
bro.
think we should
Yeah.
actually bring up that Lions Bears game. because I know we were talking about it a little bit before, but let's break down what are your takeaways from that Bears-Lions game? Lions got the dub late.
I mean, Chicago, like every way they can fuck up, they fuck up, bro. Every way.
Been doing that for years, brother.
It's so bad. It's so annoying. And the fact that
As a Justin Fields guy,
the fact that we were having conversations about like, move on from Justin Fields because
crazy.
you need a better quarterback there to help you out.
Bro.
It's like this guy comes back. You suck for the past few weeks. And Badgett was doing whatever he was doing. You suck for the past few weeks. Fields comes in. You have a fucking 2-touchdown lead against the Lions in the fourth quarter.
And a defensive head
With
coach.
4.5 minutes left.
With 4.5 minutes. And then you lose the game, bro. That's not just negligence by the coaching staff, by the organization as a whole. Like, that is just, you're built to lose.
Well,
Fields was dotting guys down.
We know Matt Eberflus is going to get fired.
He has to be.
Yeah.
I think the question, and I think we've always been a pro Justin Fields podcast, is that they have their quarterback. The Bears have their quarterback. Enough of this nonsense to go out and draft a quarterback.
Look at how different the Bears offense looked as soon as he came back yesterday.
Immediately.
Don't practice organizational negligence and go out and fucking add another quarterback and trade
Justin Fields was getting hurt for a little this year, so people could see how much more ass they are.
Yeah,
Jesus, yeah.
Like, because people were shitting on him like crazy. I'm like, all right, let's see what Tyson Bagent can do. He looks horrible.
Still suck.
The Bears have their quarterback.
That's
it. That was my biggest takeaway. The Lions, we talked about them a little bit. Obviously, it wasn't
we talked about it
episode,
earlier, but maybe we'll do it for this pod because this doesn't come out.
For sure, yeah. No, the Lions deserve their flowers, bro.
Yeah.
They can beat you in any which way. I think we talked about it a little bit, and we'll go back into it. I think I have to start saying the Lions are contenders.
Yeah.
I have to start
I was trying to get you on that train, man.
I know you were. I know you were. And I know there's a lot of people in our mentions that we're also talking about.
I think a lot of people still are not willing to put the Lions in Super Bowl contender category yet, up there with and that's fine because we've talked about it with the preset notion that we've had our entire lives, our entire parents' lives, basically. The Lions have been shit, right? So when you think of Detroit Lions, you think poverty, you think ass, like one of the worst franchises in all sports. 1962, last time they went 8-2, like you said.
Cell phone was 25 years away.
16, yeah, like all these things you think about, like with the Lions. Take all that out the window and just look at this team this year. If you look at the Lions right now, objectively this season, they're up there with some of the best teams in football. Like they're up there with the Eagles, the Niners, the Ravens, the Chiefs. Like they're up there with those teams. From what they have proven, the Cowboys, like they're up there with those teams that have proven that they can go win a Super Bowl this year. Like I think those are about the 5 teams that I would think of right now. Yeah, they can go win a Super Bowl.
So here's how I would
put the Lions there.
My contender category is 1A and 1B right now, personally. And I think that the 1A for me is Chiefs, Eagles, Niners. Just teams I've seen it, teams I've been able to do it. That 1B would be the Lions, the Ravens, and the Cowboys as well. 3 teams that I genuinely think are contenders, but I still need to see it against the elite of the elites. Like I want to see a Lions versus Eagles matchup. Like that would be nuts. A Lions versus Niners. I've seen obviously the Cowboys versus the Niners. I've seen the Cowboys versus the Eagles. So I feel slightly more confident.
To see the Lions go somewhere like you said, like the Link, or you go to Levi's.
Correct. And I think they could. I definitely think they could. For me, what changed more than anything is not just the fact that they could beat you in so many different ways, but it's the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs has now gotten involved. And I thought that they were going down the DeAndre Swift route as well. Obviously, they drafted them in different positions, but drafting Jahmyr Gibbs, he wasn't getting the touches that he deserved. He's an elite talent. That's completely changed how dynamic they can be on offense. The fact that you can get Monty going, Jahmyr Gibbs going, the fact that offensive line is clicking, the fact that Amon-Ra,
dude, but we don't.
The Josh Reynolds of the worlds, the Khalifs, the TJ, the Sam Laportas, they have weapons, and I think that's changed.
We're not even talking about the Lions yesterday. Jared Goff had by far his worst game.
I was about to say,
and they were down 12 with 4.5 minutes left. And he said, "Fuck it, I got to win this shit." And
talk about all the ways they can beat you.
Nah, that's the Lions can beat. They can afford. The Lions can beat you playing their worst game of the year.
You also
that's how you know they're an elite team.
You want to know why? And I said it. We were talking about the Steelers last week.
Bears playing their worst team.
Any given Sunday.
When we were talking about the Steelers last week, one of the reasons I said that the Steelers are a team that it's hard to not give them credit for what they're doing is because they have a closer on defense. Aiden Hutchinson showed us yesterday that he can be a closer on defense. That was absurd. They have so many pieces, and the Lions can beat you in so many different ways. So I will start saying they're contenders. I apologize. Yeah, Felipe, obviously, you might need a little more time, and that's okay. And
no, but that's fair.
Make him a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which I think is totally fair.
I think it's fair because it's hard to say that given that they're the Detroit Lions. chance.
I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender the same way I say the Cowboys are not a Super Bowl contender because the Cowboys got clapped by a Super Bowl contender, the 49ers.
That's
The
fair.
Lions got
By
clapped
the Ravens.
by a Super Bowl contender in the Baltimore Ravens. They haven't beat another good team other than the Chiefs week 1. They did beat the Chiefs week 1. People were
On the
coming
road.
up. It was a good win week 1, absolutely. But after that, they haven't beaten a great team at all. They haven't played a great team. They've played a couple great teams. They've lost to the Ravens and they lost to the Seahawks, who are a good team, not great, I would say. And so we have to see. They're going to play the Cowboys. I don't know who else is on their schedule, but they're going to play the Cowboys. I frankly think the Cowboys are going to smoke them.
They very well could.
I don't think the Lions have they have pieces all over. I don't think that they have the firepower. Like, we haven't seen them go crazy on a team. They smoked a couple bad
we
teams.
haven't.
You're right.
They
seen
smoked
them
the
drop,
Panthers.
like, a
They smoked the
40
Panthers.
bomb
You're
on
right.
them, like,
But the fact that they've, in these first 11 weeks, have showed us that they could beat you in a variety of ways is why I feel a little bit more confident. If they go
that's your
against,
strongest argument, for sure.
if they go against the Cowboys and they get smoked, it changes everything. It's why I'm having them at 1B right now, even though I put the Ravens there
like we
too.
said, I think the Lions have won a game in every single possible way that you could possibly win one this year. Like, you got playing like shit yesterday, come back from double digits down in the fourth quarter. You got that. You have games where they've blown out teams, obviously putting up a shit ton of points. You have other games where it's like a 17-13 type of game, like where they're not playing well at all. They're just playing well defensively.
You got to
like,
win. Just win.
They just know how to win games. I feel that's just like they're grit. Like, they are a gritty ass team.
Thanks.
I don't know. They have an energy about them too. The Lions. That's different than the NFL. Like, I kind of alluded to earlier, but like I feel like they feel like a college football team almost. Like, in the way that college football teams, I feel like, want to play for the guy next to them a lot more than NFL teams.
Yeah,
do.
I get that.
Like the Lions
Dan
feel
Campbell
like that.
effect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't see it in the NFL very often, where like you're fighting for your brother next to you, right? Like,
Okay, Dad.
that's college football type of shit.
I also think
It's
method
cool.
of method
It's
of victory
different.
feels just method of victory right now is so important. And yeah, I keep going back to the way they beat you, but I don't care as much about like who they've beaten because I can't take that away from them. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat. It's my argument with the
You got to
Dolphins.
play your schedule.
You got to play your schedule.
Well, if method of victory matters, method of loss does too, wouldn't it?
Good
of
point.
course.
About the inverse.
So that's what I'm saying. When they played
And
when they played a contender, they got smoked.
you talking about the Lions?
They played the Ravens. They lost 38-6.
They got smoked.
They got killed.
Dolphins have
Yeah, exactly. The Dolphins are not on that level either. I would say the Dolphins are in the Lions level.
I put them. I put the Dolphins. If we want to go, I don't want to change the subject
No,
because I
pick
like
again.
this
You want
line.
to talk about the
stuff.
Dolphins?
Well, there's not much to talk about, but I think the Dolphins are closer to that 1C level for me in the Super Bowl.
You think the
contending.
Lions? Okay, well, hold on.
I think the
Let's be
Lions are high.
specific.
Okay, 1A, 1B, 1C in the Super Bowl contending range.
People are commenting about how if you're gonna say this shit about judge them on their losses, then Cowboys lost to the Cardinals.
Right. Yeah. And I
Well,
said
yeah,
the Cowboys.
you just said the Cowboys are not Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, I thought you said they were.
I said that they're
No.
not because they lost to a
yeah,
contender
no,
and
no,
the
you're
49ers
right.
Yeah,
got
no,
smoked.
he's right.
Yeah.
No, he's
I'm using
right.
the same logic, but I want to hear you because you referenced it. What I want to hear you say it. So
What do you want to hear me say?
are the Dolphins more of a Super Bowl contender than the Lions?
No, right now.
Oh, no. Okay, I thought you were saying they were.
No, right now, because the Dolphins have shown that they're not going to beat you in the type of ways that the Lions are going to beat you, where they can ground and pound their defense. Like yesterday was their first time where the defense won them a game, right? Tua still threw for 300 plus and threw 2 touchdowns, and like the offense wasn't clicking the way we kind of expected them to. So the Dolphins are starting to get hot, like from the defensive side of the ball. But the Lions have showed me more ways to beat you than the Dolphins, and that's why I put the Lions as higher on the contender ladder right now than the Dolphins. But the Dolphins are climbing because the Dolphins right now are only showing us that they can put up points, and that's how they're going to beat you early on. Then they go into the link, they can't put up the same amount of points, they lose. Obviously, in Germany, it's a 1-score game, but the offense doesn't look the same. I needed that defense to be able to win you games, and therefore yesterday was the first game that they won you. But the Lions have been able to do that. So the Lions yesterday were able to come back on the offensive side of the ball, and then Aiden Hutchinson won you that game. So I put the Lions a little bit higher right now, but I think the Dolphins are coming up.
I can't wait to see the Lions whenever both the
does that make
defense
sense?
and offense clicks too.
Yeah, the
That's
Dolphins
gonna be fun.
The Dolphins didn't play great though yesterday.
Right, but you got to win. I need to see some of these types of
Like
wins.
their
right?
offense was kind of sloppy. The defense got the Vegas defense got the better of them. Like your defense played well, but against
Tua didn't play. Tua
an
also said he
offense
turned the
with
ball over,
Aiden
yeah.
O'Connell.
But that's my point, right? Is like I felt I was so, as a Dolphins fan, I was slightly nervous because the only way it felt like we could beat you is if the Dolphins offense comes out and puts up 70, and that's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
So I wanted to see, and you went out and added defensive pieces. You added Vic Fangio. So can the defense actually win you the game? And yesterday with Jalen Ramsey's 2 picks, it finally did.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yep.
Good point.
So no, 1A, 1B, 1C. Lions are in that 1B contender category. There's only 3 teams in that 1A category. And then in 1C, I'd put like the Dolphins right there. They're climbing, though. They're climbing.
Hell yeah, man.
Thank
Dude,
you.
Big time climbing.
Big
Jack,
climb.
Pick a game.
Pick a
What game
game.
you want to recap?
Let's talk about.
Jets Bills. The Bills back.
Wait, let's see what people are asking for. There's a lot of people in the
There's a
comments
lot of
asking
people
for.
I'm
Yeah, if you're
Actually,
listening
so-
at home right now, we are live on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter. So thanks for watching with us. You can watch us live every Monday.
Do you want to talk about Chargers
10:30.
Packers?
Yes, we should.
Chargers Packers.
Yeah.
I think we should.
What's the takeaway from Chargers Packers?
It's time for Brandon Staley to go.
It's been time, bro.
It's
They
been
should have
time.
fired him after that playoff game last year. I don't know what
Yeah,
the
I
fuck
agree.
we're waiting
I
They
know,
for.
I
should
agree.
have. They should have.
Like what?
Under
what-
Brandon Staley, they're 23-21. They've lost 4 of the last 6. The amount
So,
of one-score games that this Chargers team has
mediocre.
lost, extremely mid. And I get it.
I think I saw a stat that the Chargers have had over 100 one-possession games in the last 10 years, and
Yeah,
they've
that's
lost
wild.
most of them.
That's why.
Like it's just
I
ridiculous.
saw a stat before this week.
I got a
that
few stats.
If Chargers fans exist, their lives
they
probably
are
gotta
the
suck.
epitome of
Yeah.
mid. That
Yeah.
before this last week, they were exactly even wins and losses. Justin Herbert was exactly even wins and
they're epitome
losses.
of it.
And like in all of Chargers history,
So the
they were
Chargers are
entirely
Jeff Fisher.
even wins and losses.
They've
The
always
Chargers
been
are
that.
just-
Even
Isn't
looking
that
back to like the
insane?
Phillip Rivers years,
Yeah.
like, they were always
It
like
just
that.
doesn't make sense though, because they're third in total salary on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
This
Yeah,
year
they paid, like,
specifically,
Shout out
Eric
Phillip Rivers
Kendricks
though. He
and
just had his
shit.
they have
terrible
so
game.
many people since
He could
Brandon
have-
Staley
he could
took
fill
over.
the whole offense.
Since Brandon Staley took over,
Him at
their
quarterback.
their defenses have ranked 29th, 21st, and 24th in points allowed. Like
Great.
not great at all. Bad.
Yeah, quite
Like,
horrific,
quite
if you will.
terrible.
Yeah.
And we slandered Justin Herbert, and I understand that there's a lot. Like yesterday's loss it can't be on Justin Herbert, but I also couldn't say that they would have won because Quentin Johnston's dropped. They probably would have kicked the field goal and yada, yada, yada. But poor management, poor coaching. It's time for Brandon Staley to go. Now,
That's how it's always been with them.
Got to
we-
praise Jordan Love too.
someone said it last week. Could have been you. Bill Belichick to the Chargers.
Yeah, well, that would be nice. First of all, Belichick, you give Belichick a quarterback, the most talented quarterback he's ever had, right? Talented.
Facts.
Talented.
Talent,
Not
talent,
greatest.
Not
talent.
greatest. Very big
Fair.
difference.
You are
I'm-
correct.
I'm in on
Are
that.
you
Huge
cold, by the way?
distinction.
I stay a little chilly.
No,
man.
yeah.
Not chilly
Oh
too.
my.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's nice in the pockets.
Not Drew Bledsoe.
Appreciate it though. No, literally the most talented quarterback by far he's ever had. And
Cam Newton.
oh, Cam,
Ooh.
washed up Cam. And so he would love to have that. He'd have weapons. The defense, like you said, they got the pieces. Belichick, you know that one thing he'll never miss on is a good defense. He'll always
Oh,
have a
yeah.
great defense.
Reunited with JC Jackson.
Yeah,
Just go back and forth.
That's so funny.
Did Joey Bosa just get
Yeah,
hurt
he carted
this
off.
season?
Yeah,
that's
Is
bad.
he out for the year?
Yeah, it looks like it.
But the other thing aside from just coaching a good defense and then having the pieces on offense to actually succeed is that he's gonna bring a winning culture because that's all he's ever known.
Yeah.
Obviously, now they're fucking terrible, but I don't know what else he can do with that squad. It's just horrible. And so he goes over there. I think it could really change the culture. But that's just a hypothetical.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows
feel
if
like
that
what the
happens.
Chargers need to is to go from the most unserious head coach ever in Brandon Staley,
Exactly. You saw
go to a serious ass
See how
motherfucker.
defensive he got in the postgame?
Yeah, it was
God,
so
what's
annoying.
the hell
Staley,
he
yeah.
did?
Oh my.
They
He's like,
asked
don't
him
ask
about the
me that
defense.
question.
He's like, I'm calling the defense. Don't ask me that question anymore because it was like, what needs to change, bro?
He's
Your
calling
defense
the defense.
sucks.
Your defense is ass. It's
Your
always
defense
been ass.
stinks.
You got to be able. You're a head coach of an
How do
NFL
you have such a
organization.
shit defense when you
Gotta be
have
able
the
to
guys
take
that they have? Derwin
criticism.
James, Khalil Mack, Eric Kendricks. They had Joey Bosa earlier. Like, how are they that bad? I don't get it.
But we got to give credit to Jordan Love.
Jordan Love,
I
great
think
win.
we gotta
Also, by
give
the way,
credit.
Justin Herbert has been balling too, statistically. Like
He has.
his numbers have been really
They've
good.
been losing.
Bro,
a
he's like
lot.
They've been losing, but I'm just saying
He's top 5 in every stat
he's been
statistic.
balling too. Like
Not just like
He's got to
passing
be
yards.
so fucking
oh my
frustrated.
god, yeah. He
Not
also-
just like
he
passing
signed
yards
a
because
huge
everybody
contract.
says like,
seems like the type of guy that wouldn't shock me if he just doesn't care as much.
yeah, he kind of seems that way.
It's
He
just
just
West,
seems
he's
like-
just West Coast.
I agree with you though
Facts.
because like you think about being in LA too. You I feel like you have a natural like inclination to just lay back.
Yeah.
And so they need a serious ass head coach. I felt like it's when the Miami Hurricanes, shout out Miami,
Shout out.
in what the 80s or 90s, whatever, like late 80s when they brought in Jimmy
Schnellenberger?
Johnson.
Oh,
Yeah.
when
When
they
they
got
were like,
rid-
let's get
yeah.
fucking serious.
Yeah, let's
Because
stop
it's like
fucking
Miami, like
dicking
none of
around.
us are really like, like really, we don't care that much, all that shit. And then he come in, bring in a culture that actually wants to win. You
Well,
got to do that.
I feel like the
in
Chargers are the
LA.
most like unserious franchise with the most unserious coach. Like change that shit.
Yeah.
Brandon
I think-
Staley,
I
I don't know
actually-
how you can be the owner of the Chargers and actually
Change that
think.
shit.
But I think it's one of those situations where the Chargers should not wait out the rest of the season to fire Brandon
No,
Staley.
fuck him.
At least give Kellen Moore a
deserves to be-
chance. I'm not saying Kellen Moore's the guy.
People were talking about Kellen Moore being a good head coach for like the last
He
couple
was in the
years.
cycle, and
Yeah.
another
was in the
unserious
cycle.
move where no one kind of hired him.
Yeah, 'cause
But
he's
you know
ass.
what Brandon Staley is. There's nothing going to change from it, right? So
No.
fire Brandon Staley while you still have time. The season should not be written off. If Brandon Staley stays the head coach for the rest of the season, the Chargers are missing the playoffs. I think it's that simple.
They should cut him now. They're 4-6 with the talent
Bring
you
in
have.
Jeff Saturday.
Not
He
a
needs
Jeff.
to be the interim head coach.
I like Jeff
But
Saturday.
yo,
God damn.
Matan mentioned what were you gonna say?
No, that's it. Just,
I
not
was
just
gonna say
Saturday.
Matan mentioned it, bro. Jordan Love 322, 2
he
touchdowns,
looked good. He looked good.
no INTs.
Yeah,
Shout
he
out to-
looked- he'd had
good.
a pick, right?
Shout out to one guy who picked the Packers on this team. I mean,
Good shit.
Good
Yeah.
for you, bro.
Hey,
I don't even think you thought they were going to win. You just picked them because that's what you've been doing.
Yeah, because I
Sorta,
feel like
but-
the team that I've seen, I'm more confident in the Chargers being able to lose games. I think I said it on the pod. Like
Yeah.
the Chargers will find ways to lose games.
They
Clayton
will
Johnston
figure out
found them
new
a way to
do
lose that game. Yeah.
Well, Quentin Johnson also one of the worst.
You
draft
could have
picks
picked
of this
Zay
year.
Flowers.
Holy
You could have
hell.
picked
They are not-
fucking Jordan Addison. You could have picked
That's a-
Tank Dell, who was
But he's
later on.
really
You could've-
tall.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's a coaching problem more than a hit
That's a
problem.
management problem.
Yeah.
We haven't seen what he can be. That kid, he can be good. You know,
Well, he
like
just dropped.
Once,
it.
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. But I'm just saying,
was
like
pretty bad.
they don't really target him ever. So like,
Maybe because he's bad.
Ass.
could be.
Maybe because he can't get open.
we're talking about Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson.
Nah, he's from Texas. Relax.
Oh, my bad. That's on me.
That's
Okay,
cool.
So yeah,
Don't
biggest
worry
takeaway from
about it.
Chargers Packers is that Brandon Staley has to go now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless you don't want to win this year,
Pronto
which is
stat.
fine.
he had to go in January of this year.
Yeah, he
brother.
did.
Like,
But unless you don't want to win right now, which is fine,
They would start winning more if they cut him.
they would start winning more if they could.
well, like you said, whenever the interim head coach comes in, a little fire.
A little
to the
fire.
team.
Hey,
That's what
3-game
they
win
need.
streak, 2-3 game
Hey,
win
if
streak.
they rattle off 2, they're 6-6, right? They're gonna be right in the hunt graphic.
It kind of
That's where you want to be.
it kind of does shock me that Brandon Staley hasn't been fired yet, though.
I don't know
this
why
shit's been
they're
happening.
waiting this out. Like,
It's
I
so
feel like
bad.
everyone sees it except for the Chargers owner.
It makes no sense.
Like, what the fuck are we doing?
It sucks to be a Chargers fan, bro.
A lot of comments about Browns.
I was about to bring them up.
Dog pound.
Cleveland.
Yeah, the Steelers
Oh.
Browns game was gross.
I'm
Remember when in our
I'm
player
so glad
prop
that Red
parlay?
Zone forgot that was on.
Remember in our
But
player prop parlay when we said DTR over half a touchdown?
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
did not
that
won.
didn't happen.
Still
Yeah,
won.
that's-
Still won. I did take the Browns and they won.
Fun fact about Kenneth Pickett.
Kenny.
Kenneth.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito has more career games
knew you
with
were gonna bring that
multiple
up.
passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett.
Let's fucking go.
Yep.
He has 2.
He is too.
Yes, too.
Kenny
He
Pickett
just
has
got
one.
Tommy DeVito.
315 quarterbacks have 500 pass attempts since the merger. Only one quarterback has thrown a touchdown on fewer than 2% of his attempts. Kenneth Pickett, 1.9%.
Yes.
Yeah, he's terrible.
315 quarterbacks.
And the thing that sucks
of one.
if you're a Steelers fan right now too is that you're still winning games. You're
Yeah.
6-4, so you're not going to have a high enough draft pick to potentially get your franchise guy. You're going to get stuck with another Kenny Pickett guy that you drafted in the late first round, it was like mid to late first round when they got Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Where all the great guys are going to be gone at that point, and they're going to be stuck with some fucking Joe Schmo from I don't even know where university. Like
Joe Schmo from I don't know.
it's-
Ooh, bars.
I thought that's where he was
Bars.
going to stop.
Another
From
game
I don't
also
even
where they
know.
were outgained in yards, though. Matt Canada. Dog.
Man, yeah, McKenna's
well,
ass too.
It's like what? How is he
I
not
think-
fired? Who's getting fired first? Him or Brandon Staley?
Staley. Because Mike Tomlin's not going to let his guys go like that.
Yeah, Tomlin cares about the
Yeah.
the vibe, but I will say the Steelers aren't because of that. They're going to win games. They're not going to be in a position to get a top 10 quarterback. They're going to have to make a play for like a Kirk
Kirk Cousins, as you said.
or another quarterback.
That's
like
their
that.
only hope. Because you
Shit,
got a
if they have
defense
J-
that can win you games right now. You got some pieces on offense. Like Jalen Warren's dynamic as shit.
They had Jameis
like-
Winston, bro.
Dude, honestly.
Oh my god.
would-
That's a
I'll be
10-win team.
honest though. I think Matt Canada is more problematic than Kenny Pickett as your quarterback. I know Kenny's been bad, but like the fact that Matt Canada is your OC, it's just
Yeah, but
Oh.
Jameis would say, fuck that shit, bro, and just start throwing it.
Yeah, I feel like Kenny, like, he's not turning the ball over at like a crazy, alarming rate. He's just not doing anything to win you games.
No.
they showed that one.
He's
throw.
just existing.
They
Hold
showed.
on,
I
what's
don't know if
his-
you saw. He had one throw where it was like Kenny Pickett's a dog, and it was him like dotting someone up, and it was like 25 yards, just
Oh, yeah.
completely uncatchable.
Yeah,
Bro.
he'll do that once a game.
The Steelers should trade for fucking Trey Lance, bro.
Actually, give
Go
him a
see
fucking
what you can.
shot.
Go see what you can get with Trey Lance, because
Well, there's nothing to do now.
Huh?
There's nothing to do. They can't trade for him now.
I know.
No, but in the
But
offseason, like,
what I
see
will-
what you can
In
do.
the offseason.
I actually think, and it's a
Get
good
Ryan
example.
Tannehill once he gets dropped. I don't know. Like,
He won't get dropped.
trade for Patrick Mahomes or some shit, bro.
Oh,
I didn't think about
Hey,
Mike
Or just-
Tomlin.
Like
Give-
we're talking about the
Give Mitch the
Steelers.
reins.
We're
Let
talking
Mitch
about the
start.
Steelers, and they played the Browns, and the Browns obviously have two quarterbacks that you don't feel super confident about, but the Browns have a defense that can go win you a Super Bowl. They signed Joe Flacco.
Practice squad.
I'm not saying Joe Flacco's the guy. I'm just saying at least
He's not the guy.
at least the Browns are going out and trying to add another quarterback, knowing that they have a window right now that they can probably contend. The Steelers right now, they're not fucking doing anything. At least go try and get someone.
Bro, Mike White, bro. Like other guys will give them a better chance to win.
Well, they can't do anything now. The deadline.
They
I
can't
don't
trade
care.
Bro, like
Fucking find a way.
fun fact about the Browns have allowed the fewest yards per game through 10 games since the 08 Steelers. That 08 Steelers team is the team that won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wasn't that
bring
with
back,
rookie Big
Can I
Ben?
read that? 'Cause
bring
I
back
don't
Tom Brady,
understand.
bro.
Adam, wasn't that rookie Big Ben that year? I want to say.
I don't know, but I was at that
Or
Super
it
Bowl.
was
No,
right,
it was
right
not.
after. It was right after his rookie.
Bring back Terry Bradshaw, bro.
Good idea.
I know. The
Mike Vick.
Steelers are just in a weird predicament, man.
I'm happy for the Browns. I'll be honest.
RG3
Yeah.
could play for him. I bet RG3 would be
Dude,
better than Kenny
RG3 is
Pickett.
dying to get the call.
I bet
Yeah.
you he'd be better than Kenny Pickett.
He hit up. He like jokingly hit up one team saying like, "Hey, I'm available." By the way.
No, and he
Wait
said
around.
it on a broadcast
Yeah,
a
he
bunch
said
of
that,
times.
right?
Bro, he still runs like a 4.3. He ran it like last
It's a
year.
good point.
Insane.
Jeremiah Schmidt on TikTok said Browns are winning without two starting tackles, a quarterback, and their starting running back.
That's how deep
Mm.
they are.
That's crazy.
They're talented as fuck.
They're so
I've-
talented.
I mean,
Browns
is
might
there a
have been
conversation we said like if at full strength the Browns could be the best team in football then with that defense.
if Deshaun was 70% on the field of what he once was.
Oh yeah, sure.
80 maybe.
I'll take 70. He was starting to get
Too
close.
many injuries.
He was
Starting to
about
get-
to.
Starting to get
Oh,
close.
about to.
Dude,
All right.
the Browns are fucking loaded. Yeah.
Let's talk about
I'm happy for
one
the
more
Browns.
game, and then we're gonna
One
wrap
more.
up. Vikings Broncos.
Okay.
Oh man.
Anything?
The Broncos have won 4 straight.
Yeah.
Broncos are a sneaky 500 team.
You know what their
I'm five.
their,
Second in the West.
chance to win make the playoffs is?
what?
What?
30%.
Not
Oh
bad.
wow.
Ooh,
It probably went
not
up
bad.
from, it probably went up from
It
what?
would have
Like
went down to like
1%?
11% if they lost.
I mean,
Oh wow.
It was somewhere around there. I don't know. They showed a graphic last night.
Cortland Sutton's a fucking dog, by the way.
he is.
SMU, Texas.
Holy
Texas.
shit, he's good.
Oh, you think so?
back to back, like
know what?
insane catches.
No, I'm
for
saying
a
like the
touchdown.
last like 2 weeks has just been going insane.
Yeah.
Like
Hey, I feel this. I'm
What
just
was
saying, this
his line?
podcast has hated on Cortland Sutton in the past,
Have we?
despite
we?
him being
Why
from the
not?
great state of Texas.
when have we hated on?
I must have
When
missed
have
that
we ever
episode.
I
talked
hate on
about
Jerry
Cortland
Jeudy.
Sutton?
Yeah, Jerry.
You're a big Sutton hater.
What?
You're like, dude, he can't separate from my
Oh,
grandma.
he can't. No, he still can't.
but it'll still make a crazy catch.
But it's still making great
Yeah.
catches. His
Oh,
game
nice.
has never been about
Honestly,
separation.
Don't bring up Sutton.
All right,
I'm a
hear me-
Judy hater.
Hear me
Word.
out though. We merged
Judy's.
Jerry Judy's route running with
Classic.
Cortland
Who
Sutton.
doesn't?
You're the best
It's
receiver in
Great
football.
fantasy.
Woo!
You hear what
What
I
was
said?
that?
Jerry Judy. We merged his route running with Cortland Sutton's high point catch
Hands.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
High
go.
Ability to catch at the high
You
point.
see that
High
one drop
portability.
Judy had in the end zone yesterday?
Yeah,
that
that
made me
was bad.
smile.
That was bad.
Made me giggle.
I was shocked.
As
What are
a-
your thoughts on the
as
Vikings?
a T1 Judy hater. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Vikings? Because they're going to get Jettis back in 2 weeks, like after the bye.
Josh Dobbs is
They
still
can make the
him.
playoffs. They can still make the playoffs.
They're
Josh Dobbs
definitely going to
still
make the
playing
playoffs. I think
well.
they're
Yeah.
still above 50% chance.
Yeah. No, they're
Josh Dobbs is still him. He's still
they're,
playing well.
they're,
He
they're
rushed
a
for
fun
another
fucking
touchdown.
team.
Him,
Did you see his touchdown pass yesterday too? He looked like Patrick Mahomes out there. He was like
Mm.
juking
Oh,
guys, and he was like,
mm.
"Nope,
I'm-
I'm going here, bang."
I love it.
I'm almost all in on Josh Dobbs. I just need one more.
I
I just
need
need one more.
Define all in. Wait. Hold on. You're now all in?
No, I'm almost.
Oh.
It's taking me a little bit. I'm taking this like a girl that I really like dating, right? You don't just fuck her on the first date. You're gonna wait
Can't
a
do
little
that.
bit.
No,
Yeah.
you're not. No. Really, what it is you're not just going to be boyfriend girlfriend after the first date. You
No.
gotta go-
I'm
you got to
talking
go
about
3,
strictly
4
sex
dates,
with.
maybe even more, like
Strictly
few months.
pleasure.
Well, I'm saying how like if you really like a girl, you're gonna wait a little bit.
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
Well, I think
Fornicate.
Make the next step, whatever that may be.
And so I'm waiting a little bit because I'm really liking Josh Dobbs so far, but I just want him to prove to me that he's worth me waiting and worth my time as a fan.
He's
And
worth
the
you
Vikings
losing your
are fine.
virginity.
As
Losing
well
my virginity as a Dobbs
On your birthday, too.
know?
Nah, I'll fuck Dobbs on the first date.
Yeah, I know you did.
Hell
You're
yeah.
fucking good too.
Damn straight, bro.
Top 5.
Dobbs is him, bro.
dude, I'm
Oh,
happy.
I-
I'm happy for the
I'm happy for
Vikings. Yeah.
Happy for alopecians all around.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're considering Josh Dobbs him now too.
No, I'm not
You
saying
just, said,
Consider
you
it.
just said you're happy for him.
No. He's,
Oh fuck! I'm
he's
happy for he.
considering.
Oh, because he said he's happy for him.
I know.
Him being Josh
He's
Dobbs.
considering.
Him is Josh. So Josh Dobbs is him in that sense.
There you go.
Can we,
go.
can we talk about?
I would be remiss, by the way, if I didn't bring this
Remiss.
up that Brock
Remiss.
Purdy is so fucking back.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's.
Sure, do it.
You guys just didn't want to bring that up. No?
Well,
I didn't see much of
I
that
played
game.
against Brock
I
Purdy,
also did.
Ayuk,
They
and
didn't show
CMC.
much on red zone.
Ayuk had a fucking day. Holy shit.
Ayuk went crazy.
I saw his
Kittle
numbers.
Played really well.
Ayuk.
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 Bro, that guy would do that when Jawan Jennings got a catch at the game. Bro, Ayuk's crazy, but Brock, like everyone, including myself a little bit to some extent, after those 3 games was very much out on Brock. And
Was anyone not?
anyone not out?
Uh-huh.
Was it you?
Uh-huh.
Attaboy, thank you. Appreciate that.
I was not
Yeah,
either.
Brock, goddamn, 333 yards,
bro,
21
Brock-
of 25,
3 tutties, no picks.
3 tutties, no picks, 158 rating. Oh my.
158.3.
Oh, that's a
You know
perfect
what that
rating.
is? That's perfect. Yep, thank you. That's his second perfect rating of the year.
Shout out my Lord and Savior
Yikes.
Dan Orlovsky said this dude, when he's on rhythm, might be one of the most lethal quarterbacks in the NFL.
He,
Ayuk,
and I know,
God damn.
and I know a lot of people.
Fucking
Yeah,
fantasy.
Ayuk, is
Ayuk,
fucking
5 receptions
crazy,
for
bro.
156 yards and a
But then-
touchdown.
Kittle
Jeez.
also
Whew.
8 for 89 with a tutty.
Oh,
He
Kittle.
was crazy.
See, that's a
man.
high volume game for Kittle.
Yeah, hey, he's been having a couple high volume in a row.
Crazy.
9
Very
targets.
fantasy relevant, possibly no fantasy. But
By the way, a lot of people watching right now. Quick plug on our fantasy episode coming up.
oh yeah, fantasy episode. You know me as the fantasy god. I would say probably future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Fantasy football nuts. Adam and Felipe are great at fantasy football. They do Tuesday, Thursdays.
Tomorrow, 10:30 a.m.
Yep.
live. If you need
Always
fantasy,
live.
Always live.
Actually, Adam's actually live 24/7.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
About start.
We live.
Start bench cut. No, I don't know. There's some. I feel like when Brock is playing this way, though, the Niners are impossible to beat.
Yeah.
Facts.
And you can
At
say
full strength.
you can say it's the weapons or whatever, and certainly they do help. But he's playing with a different level of confidence right now. That I was very, very curious to see how he would look coming after the bye after losing 3 straight. I was very, very scared about that. He looks like he's just doesn't.
you guys
like,
are
that never.
fine.
I'm not
fucking
worried
happened.
about it.
I'm
at
not
all.
worried
We've
about
seen
it.
it before. We saw what Brock and this team was doing. What hurt Brock in those 3 losses where he played bad was
Well,
just
those were his first 3 losses ever.
that. Yeah,
So
but
you
it
have
was.
to see how he responds.
But it was not. It was losing key pieces. It was not having Trent Williams mainly.
that was huge.
It was
most
mainly
back.
that, and then not having a guy like Debo and stuff. Now they have all these guys back. Like I
Yeah.
don't know why you would expect anything different, especially against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team.
No, I'm not even like just
How did
impressed
Baker
against
do?
the Bucks because the Bucks are not that great. But
No.
it's just the last 2 weeks since Trent's been back, it's like so obvious how much more comfortable in the pocket Brock has been. And
Brock
when he's
is-
like that, he just cooks, dude.
Some dude on comment, Greg on TikTok said, "Do they kick you out of the group if you don't wear your hat backwards?"
Yeah, that's me.
facts.
It's a good comment.
Sorry,
That's a
bro.
good
My
comment.
bad.
But no, look, Brock Purdy.
Shout out or shout out Fernando Rodney right here.
I'll go
Seam.
forward.
Oh, yeah,
for
I'll
now.
fuck with the team.
I'll go forward now.
Brock Purdy with his team at full strength is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Absolutely, considering the team that he has around him. Now,
Throw him
the
to Carolina.
only time, but it doesn't matter. It's hypothetical. We're not going to see that. So
I mean, there's
Yeah.
to me, it's nothing new. We saw it just now from Brock Purdy, what we had seen in the beginning of the year before the injuries happened.
Yeah.
So if this team's healthy, like I said before, they should be the favorite to win the Super Bowl because they're the deepest, most talented team. When you thought they were deep enough, they go get Chase Young, bro.
He had
It doesn't
another
make
sack
any
yesterday
sense.
too.
Yeah, it's
Oh, he
insane.
went crazy.
I want to talk about. There's one more game. I know there's a lot of people here.
Do it.
So, Bills Jets. Obviously, Bills Jets.
Josh Allen's back.
Josh
I
Allen.
told you it would happen.
I
told you
it seemed like the week for it.
It
It's
was
gonna happen.
easy.
Now everybody's gonna forget about everything.
Yeah.
he's gonna have of course he's gonna have
Doesn't
down
matter.
games, gonna have elite games. That's the thing about Josh Allen we've been saying all year is that his floor is really fucking low and his ceiling is really fucking high.
Yeah. This would be the best time if you want to bet on the Bills to
Probably.
everyone's probably super low on them. Go to gameday.com/promotions.
Actually,
Yes,
it was.
sir.
Or actually, just go to
Transfer
the link.
It was before this game was probably the best time.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts on the Jets though?
They
Like, do
suck.
they move forward with
Zach
does
Wilson
Zach
sucks,
Wilson
bro.
give the Jets the best chance moving forward, if
Zach
not Aaron
Wilson, like-
Rodgers, or do they make
No.
a quarterback change?
No,
Because
Didn't he
I'll
get
be honest,
benched?
yeah, he did get benched, but I'm not so sure that Tim Boyle is the fucking answer either.
No, they
that
gotta
offense
go.
looks
I'll be
bad all
totally
across the
honest.
board.
I think Zach Wilson is the worst option of any quarterback.
Agreed.
Like anybody is better than Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson might be the worst quarterback to ever play a football game in the NFL.
Oh, you
History.
forgot Jim Marcus Russell exists.
Nah, he was Russell. Was
You put
better.
Jamarcus Russell on this team though.
I
Pure-
prefer Russell.
Pure hooper.
Right now,
Russ.
what,
I mean,
320
there's
pounds?
nothing we have seen out of Zach Wilson to indicate that he is the better option. Like we don't know what Tim
passed
Boyle
for
is.
250 plus yards in like the last 4 games.
The only one that I would say he's better than is Nathan
4
Peterman.
games.
No, like
I don't know if
every
he's better
game.
than Nathan Peterman.
Nathan Peterman's probably the worst quarterback we've seen.
No, I think Peterman's better.
I'll be honest.
Watching
I don't-
Zach Wilson is hard.
I
He threw
think
5
Zach-
picks in one
I'll
half.
be
bro.
honest.
It is
I think
so
Zach's-
hard.
He's throwing it though.
I think Zach's
He's
bad.
That's completions.
Zach's bad, and he's definitely not the answer. But I just think the offense looks terrible. Like they also have so many hurt like pieces all across the board,
They also, let's be honest, like these weapons were made for Aaron Rodgers to succeed.
which is
If
scary.
you put an average or below average quarterback with their, in my opinion, lack of weapons, they're not going to succeed at all.
Are
They
they
didn't.
out of the playoffs?
They didn't bolster their
Yeah.
offensive line whatsoever in the offseason either. They were just banking on Rodgers to get a lot better.
Rodgers
Like,
should not
this
come
team
back.
on offense is
No.
not very good.
Aaron Rodgers should not come back.
The offensive line.
No, he
sucks.
should.
The offensive line
Should
is
not.
the offensive line is bad, has been bad. We knew it was going to be bad going into the year, but you're hoping not Aaron Rodgers can offset that. Outside of Garrett Wilson, there's no receivers that can make a fucking play.
I
on
can't
that team.
separate. No one
No,
can separate.
no one.
Brees
Not a-
Hall's-
not a
Brees Hall and
guy.
Garrett Wilson's all they got.
I'm
And,
gonna be
and then
honest,
once you have that, you just know you're going to run the damn ball the whole time. Brees Hall looks good, but like
You can't
this
do it all.
offense just doesn't have much to it. And I don't know why we thought even with Rodgers it was going to go crazy, because I never personally thought that the
Yeah.
weapons or the offensive line was there. So we're just seeing a bad offense talent wise get combined with a bad quarterback. What the fuck do you think's going to happen? It's going to be disgusting. Like,
Jesus, Murphy.
I don't
think
know.
if Aaron
I agree with you.
I think
I fully agree with you.
I want to see the Jets make the playoffs somehow
They ain't gonna
because
do it.
I want to see Aaron.
I would
Rodgers
too. I like the Jets.
so
It's just
fucking bad.
I
They
don't.
fucked up. They should have traded for Jameis Winston, for Cooper Rush. They should have
They
traded
yeah,
did.
for
Yep.
keep them more alive.
Josh Dobbs. Like, how
I
did you
don't-
not trade for Josh
Yep.
Dobbs?
well, because the injury happened week 1, so it's like Josh Dobbs right then, right?
Well, no, I think
No.
at
Before
the
the
deadline.
deadline.
At the
Oh,
deadline.
At the
okay,
deadline.
yeah.
At the deadline, at that point, we knew what Josh Dobbs was, right? Like,
He's
we
solid.
knew, and we've seen what Cooper Rush has done when he's been a starter. We've seen what other backups have done when they've been in the position to actually.
Hell, bro, trade for
and-
Jimmy G at that point because they were about to start
Before
Aiden
the
O'Connell.
deadline, we had plenty of Zach Wilson tape to know
Plenty
he
to
is
know.
not good enough. To be a
And
starter.
they're in a
think Zach's-
position
yeah,
to
I don't
actually
think
go
Zach's good.
to the playoffs.
I don't think.
Whereas,
Zach's
like, now you lose
I
a
think
few
they're above
games.
two or 3 weeks ago. They're above 500.
he stinks, but
They
like I don't know
fucked
who
up,
else
bro.
they're gonna fucking get.
Well, now
Now they
nobody.
have no options.
There-
Now
there
nobody-
are
no,
a lot
you
of
just
guys
said
you
Tim
could get.
Boyle. You said they should bench Zach Wilson.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know if that changes.
It's not even
anything.
crazy. You remember?
I'm sorry. We know what Zach Wilson
I agree.
cannot be,
I agree.
and we don't know what Tim Boyle can or cannot be.
No,
So
he's-
we might as well fucking try something different.
I might be
Like-
crazy to say this, but I don't really give a shit. Like about a month or a little over a month ago, Colin Kaepernick wrote a letter to the Jets saying, "Hey, I'd love to just be a member of your practice squad.
Yeah.
Let me get your team ready for the
Cap
more
would be
athletic
better
quarterbacks
right
that
now.
are around
Yep.
the league and everything like that. And then maybe if you see something you like in me, you can give me a chance as Zach's backup,
I don't mind that.
dude. At
Nah,
this
Cap would be
point,
way better than Zach.
at
Way.
this point,
You have
fucking-
nothing to lose.
You have nothing to. What is the worst thing that'll happen by signing Colin Kaepernick to your practice
You get
squad?
ridiculed at the
He's-
next owners meeting.
You get ridiculed. Whatever.
Fucking
Maybe the
dumb.
owner's
Deshaun
racist as
Watson
shit
is
with
still
that
in the
bullshit.
league, bro.
Colin Kaepernick, you cannot tell me that even though he hasn't played against a defense in years, and I understand that's scary to try and invest money in a guy like that.
Bro,
Can't tell me he's at least not more talented
invest
than Zach
money. You're
Wilson.
going to invest what, 500 grand?
We've at
in
least seen Colin Kaepernick do great things in the league. Even Cam Newton would be a better option at this point.
Yeah, can't. Yeah,
Like,
not much better, but
I don't know. Like, if you're the Jets, you have to try fucking something. You could have re-signed Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I don't know.
He
What,
just
I
went
don't
to
know what
practice
they're
squad.
doing.
I
It
don't
also
know what
feels
they're
like Robert Saleh is at the mercy of Joe Douglas right now. Like last week in the press conference, they asked him, "Who's your?
Yeah.
Why is Zach your starting quarterback?" I forgot how they framed
Yeah.
it. He pled the fifth, so it didn't even feel like he was totally
Well,
confident.
he also said he's been playing well lately.
Yeah, well, but that's my point is that I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of these orders are coming down from Joe
Yeah.
Douglas
Well,
and what
'cause
needs to happen.
Joe Douglas's biggest move before Aaron Rodgers as the Jets GM was drafting Zach Wilson. That was like the most important move that he's made, was getting that quarterback right. And I think he wants to
He fucked
still
up with
see if
Zach,
he can
bro.
get it
It's
right.
fine. He fucked up
Like,
with
dude, great front offices. Like
Move
the
on.
49ers, like drafting Trey Lance, really not that. Get him the fuck
Move
out.
on. Yep.
Doesn't matter. Move on. Like, don't keep trying to make sure that your mistake could maybe end up looking good on you. Like, get rid of your ego, get that out of the building, and just like, fuck it, it's okay.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson was a bad draft pick. Those
It's
happen all the
okay.
time.
It's okay.
Like,
Before we stop,
it's so Jags.
We got to wrap up.
we should talk just tonight's game.
Oh, wait, can we
Game of
talk?
the week.
Congrats, Giants.
Giants.
Yeah, we didn't really
Tommy
talk
DeVito.
about that.
Giants
Congratulations.
won, yeah.
Big win
great.
for the Giants.
Are
for
you mad
sure.
that you won, Loki?
Not mad. I like winning. That's always nice. But
Hey.
I just don't. We don't need it.
What's your record now? 3-6.
3-7.
The passing Paisan.
The bison.
Hey,
Three and
buddy.
seven.
Wow.
3-7.
There's some
It's pretty
comments.
bad. Pretty bad.
There's some comments on TikTok about tonight's game.
All right.
Oh
game
my
of the
God.
year right now.
Bro, I'm so
Oh
mad.
yeah, Super Bowl
I'm gonna be on a
rematch.
flight for the first
Same.
half of it.
I'm gonna be on the flight for the whole time.
I should have booked
Damn.
Southwest
Stream
knowing
East. No.
this.
Stream East. Stream East. You'll be fine.
It works.
Yes,
the
it
Wi-Fi?
works. It works.
What airline are you flying?
As long as you have Wi-Fi,
Delta.
as long as you have Wi-Fi,
Elite.
Stream East will work. I'm
What is
flying
Stream
Delta too.
East?
Should we fly
It's a
together?
Should
streaming
we
service.
have
It's illegal streaming.
Oh.
sex?
Yeah.
Stream East works on flights.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Is it because they don't recognize it as like a streaming site or some shit?
I don't know. It's worked.
has
I've done it
stream in
on
the
like
name.
three flights at this
And it
point now, and
works.
it's worked. Yeah.
All right,
So
I'm
what
gonna
is
make sure
that-
my laptop's fully charged then.
Yeah, I'm charging my iPad. What are the predictions for tonight?
Eagles by like 10.
3.
Really?
Yeah.
The
So you're
Eagles are-
saying Patrick Mahomes doesn't go off for 45, Devontae Smith does nothing, and I'm losing my fantasy week?
Yeah,
Shame.
Blake Bell first touchdown. How about it?
it's a big night for me. Blake
Whoa.
Bell.
I don't
Shout
know.
out Oklahoma.
Whoa.
I'm just trying to think of the most random guy I could on the Chiefs.
I do feel like tonight's game will
Yeah, the Eagles
definitely
are-
tell us a lot about actually what this Chiefs team is, because their record obviously
the
says
Eagles.
and the Eagles for sure.
Let's be honest.
But we know no matter what. For me, I don't know why, but like I feel more confident in the Eagles than the Chiefs.
I think
Chiefs
personally,
wreck-
you guys know I think the Chiefs win this
The
game.
public is on
But
the Eagles, I'm sure.
I'm sure they're hammering it. They see Eagles at plus money. Of course, they're all over.
which
it.
is a good Chiefs
Squires.
spot.
But what I think is going to happen tonight, you guys know I think the Chiefs are going to win, is I absolutely think this is a Chiefs defense statement game. Because no one talks about what are you guys doing here, huh?
High
Trying to
foot.
What?
High
All
foot.
right, all right.
Keep going.
Oh, high
Go ahead.
foot.
It's a Chiefs
No,
statement game.
it's a statement
Oh.
game for the Chiefs defense. Because everyone, when we think about the Kansas City Chiefs, think of Mahomes, Kelsey, a high flying offense, Pacheco, running the ball.
Clyde
Gritty.
Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, CEH, bro. Jamal Charles. And then, but you always think of the offense, but the Chiefs defense this year sneakily has been a top 5
Sneakily.
statistical defense in football.
Sneakily.
Nick Bolton, shout out.
Bolton.
MIZ.
But I think the Chiefs defense is going to give Jalen Hurts problems. tonight.
Problems.
They're not going to score 20, the Eagles tonight. I promise you that.
Ooh.
They're not scoring 20. Jalen Hurts, at least 2
Oh,
turnovers.
Yeah, I can see that. That's been
Big
happening all year.
statement game for the Chiefs.
I'm
They
for it.
win pretty handily at Arrowhead.
I'm for it. This game is going to tell us a ton.
I'm going to say,
And then the Niners are the best team in the NFC.
Interesting bet. Both
have been.
quarterbacks to throw a pick.
I'm
Nah,
going to go Chiefs 27, Eagles 13.
Wow.
Actually, 16. I'll give them another.
If the Eagles get smacked by a Chiefs team that isn't playing very well right now, then
But coming off a
that's
bye,
Hey, then
it'll
Things change.
say a
then
lot.
people have to apologize to us for being Eagles haters.
That's true.
You are first
I've
team
been an
all
Eagles
Eagles
supporter
hater.
all year. Like, not like that I'm like, yo, go Eagles, but like I've been
Also, you're a
I'm
Cowboys
so
fan,
real
bro.
with the
You wanna
Eagles all
slander the
year. I
Eagles,
say
I
they're
don't
the
give a
best
shit.
team in the league every
But,
single
but
week.
also, if you wanted to slander the Eagles, who gives a fuck?
You're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could,
you're
but I'm
literally-
saying, but I'm saying I've been like,
Yeah, you've
very,
given
I've
them-
been unbiased with them all year.
You bought
I
them
pick
this
against
flower.
them, but that's not me saying they're not good. That's me wanting them to lose.
You've always given their
So
flowers.
Eagles, no, I'm not giving the Eagles no flowers. DeAndre Swift, go off. Though. I just traded for you.
Oh, congratulations on
All right,
that.
this was
Thank
a good episode.
Great episode. Yo, we got to wrap up. Happy almost Thanksgiving. And good luck to the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Fantasy.
Fantasy.
You got any
Hella
fantasy
people mad that I
questions?
said not 20 points for the Eagles is crazy.
Fantasy.
Hey,
All right.
watch.
Well, thanks for listening to the Caps Off
Happy
podcast.
Thanksgiving,
We'll see
too.
you next time.
See ya.
Peace.